Good morning, Year 3, Miss Trinson here, and today we are going to be looking at the character of Mr. Willy Wonka. Okay, so for your reading part of your lesson today, you're going to reread chapter 14, okay? Chapter 14 is a very descriptive chapter, especially as we find a lot about the character of Mr. Willy Wonka, what he looks like, what his personality is like, how he acts. Okay, so it's a very important chapter because we finally get to meet the creator of all of the chocolate in the chocolate factory. So he is a bit of an odd character. Okay, he's very busy all of the time. He's talking very fast. He's always overjoyed. He's a bit he's very excited that those children at hand, their adults, have gone into the chocolate factory. Okay then, so today you're going to be looking at the character of Mr. Willy Wonka, and you're going to be writing adjectives to describe him. You will also write verbs about how Willy Wonka moves, and then obviously don't forget to include your adverbs too, so how he moves, for example. Okay, so you can draw a picture of Mr. Willy Wonka if you want to. You can print this off if you've got a printer at home, and you can annotate a picture of Mr. Willy Wonka, or you can just write a list in your book, okay? So it doesn't matter if you haven't got a printer, if you can't draw very well, you can still complete this task by writing lots of different adjectives, verbs and adverbs to describe the character. Because tomorrow you will be writing a character description on Willy Wonka, okay? So you need to make sure today you've got lots of different adjectives and everything to describe him. Okay then, so here we go. So this is Mr. Willy Wonka in the very first film. This is Mr. Willy Wonka, how he is portrayed in the book by Roald Dahl. And this one here is the latest Charlie and the Chocolate Factory film. Okay, so this is the Mr. Willy Wonka that you might recognise. Okay, so 3 different pictures of him, but pretty much all wearing the same thing. They've all got a long plum coat. They've all got a top hat. Okay, I think this one and this one have got a bow tie. Okay, so just only a very few differences. Okay then, so what do we already know about Mr. Willy Wonka? So from the text by Roald Dahl, from that chapter 14, what do we know? What has Roald Dahl said that Mr. Willy Wonka is? So we know that Mr. Willy Wonka is an extraordinary little man, because it says, what an extraordinary little man he was. In one hand he carried a fine gold-topped walking cane. His eyes were most marvellously bright. He was like a squirrel in the quickness of his movements, like a quick, clever squirrel from the park. Okay, so I haven't made any of these up. This is all just taken from the text. And this is what we have been told by the author, Roald Dahl, about this character, Mr. Willy Wonka. Okay, again, we know that he did a funny little skipping dance. We know that his voice was high and fluty. And we know that he wore a plum-covered velvet coat. Okay, so those are the things that we have been told. Okay, so what we don't necessarily know, and this is what we're inferring. Okay, so for example, I've gone talking about his hair here. So I said he's got wiry nut brown hair, but obviously you could use chestnut brown instead. It's uncombed, therefore it's messy, therefore it's dishevelled. Okay, so this dishevelled is a much better word for messy, for example. And messy is just obviously gone into more detail from uncombed. Okay, so all of those words describe Mr. Willy Wonka's hair and what it looks like. Okay, so that's for some adjectives to describe his hair. So then I'm going to go on to how his body type, what his body shape is. So I've said he's got pointy shoulders. He is slender, meaning slim. And he has a round, jet black coloured top hat. Okay, so therefore using my adjectives there, I've got a 2A sentence there. Round and jet black coloured. Okay, talking about what he looks like, what he's wearing. Okay, and then finally we have got his character traits. So what is he like as a person, as a character, using his personality? So we know that he's very extraordinary. People love to go and see him. They haven't seen him for years. So he is an extraordinary man. Okay. He is eccentric. So this is a word that says he's a bit strange. Okay. But in his own way. He obviously just spoke about how fast he always talks. Okay. And then finally we got wild. He's a little bit shy because he hasn't seen anybody for a long time. Therefore, he is a bit of a recluse because he hasn't come out of his chocolate factory for those. I think it's been 10 years, hasn't it? He's stayed in there. That's what a recluse means, where he doesn't come out of somewhere. However, we do know that he is a very intriguing man and that he is the most talented chocolatier in the whole entire world. Okay, so there are more his personality traits. Okay, so what I haven't included any verbs or adverbs like it asks us to. So that's what you need to also include today in your work. Okay, so how does he move? In what way does he walk? Does he walk slow? Does he walk quick? How quickly? How slowly, for example? Okay, so you can use some of these ideas that are on here. Okay, that's what we already know, those two are. But these adjectives here, you can use some of these if you are struggling for your own. Okay, so don't forget all of your descriptive words today, you're going to be using them in your character description tomorrow. So the more words and vocabulary you get down today, the easier you will find your character description to write tomorrow. Okay, have a brilliant day and please email myself or Mr. Grocott if you need any help or support, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Take care, bye.